I'm polyamorous and also a horned boy, so I spend a lot of my time on dating sites. And all of them are bad. But the question is, what's the least bad? Where am I going to have the least bad time? Well, I can't tell you, but I can tell you about my personal experiences. So OKCupid is, I feel like it's felt the most welcoming to me, but also the least welcoming, and I'll explain that. Before my transition, when I identified as a lesbian, I was able to it was fairly clear cut. I got profiles of girls, and that was, it. But then I got older, I realized, oh shit, I'm a dude. And that really threw a curveball into everything. I learned what assigned female at birth is, I learned what assigned male at birth is, I learned fucking everything, basically, on how to be a functioning person. And now, OKCupid, when existing as a trans dude on OKCupid, an issue that they have is they keep, God, I don't know how to say this, but it's just kind of shitty what they're doing. I don't know if it's a setting that other people have enabled or whatever, but they're not categorizing trans men as like strictly men on the site. So I keep getting lesbians in my inbox, rather, like they don't message me, but rather in the double take or whatever they do, where you just see people's profiles and stuff. And also just in the regular browsing people's profiles, I am shown lesbians, and I'm like, OKCupid, I don't know how to tell you this. They don't want me, and I don't want them. So maybe fix your shit. Because it kind of sucks to like be seeing all these people that I can't date. Like I want to just see people that I can and want to date. It's like getting a bunch of like useless shit. Like you're looking through people's profiles and you're like, oh, this person is cute. Okay, awesome, great. Oh, they are not interested in me. Great. All right. Well, you could have told me that at the beginning, so I didn't get invested in this thing. And it keeps happening over and over and over. If it was like every once in a while, I could deal with it, but it's getting annoying. So OKCupid, pretty great for dating. Not if you're trans. And that's kind of like the theme that I'm seeing with dating sites, is like, if you are trans, there's always something about the site that is bad for you. OKCupid, that is what that's the mark that it checks, is that it just gives you people that are not interested in you and you aren't interested in them. And I've gone through all my settings, I've Googled it, I've written messages to OKCupid. Even when they asked me for feedback, I gave them the feedback and then they haven't responded. So I think they are fucking cowards. Tinder, I have an interesting experience with. I used to live in Brooklyn, and I used Tinder for like a couple days. And Tinder is stereotypically more for, sexual encounters. I'm kind of going down the list of like, OKCupid is mainly for dating, some hookups. Tinder is more in the middle side, where it's like kind of for hookups, but like you can date. And then the last one I'll go over is Grindr, which is like, people are there for a thing. But Tinder I used in Brooklyn for a couple days, and I matched with literally one person, and I messaged them and they didn't respond. And that was my entire Tinder experience. And I was like, oh, this sucks. I don't like this. So I didn't use it after that. Then I moved to Philly, and I was like, you know what? New city, new start. Let's give it another try. And so I went on Tinder and, redid my profile, because it's been a while, since I had used it last. And photos needed updated and stuff. I'm a growing boy, and there's testosterone going through my body, and my face is changing like every month. But I sat on Tinder and went through it, and I got 10 matches in like half an hour, and it was fucking hilarious. I was sitting there laughing my ass off, like, oh shit, okay, so I'm not Brooklyn hot, but I'm Philly hot. This is so funny. Because I think that's the problem, is Brooklyn is so mass populated with so many attractive people that like you gotta be real hot in order to like get anything in Brooklyn. So I had different luck here, different luck with Tinder. The people have been very nice, so that's good. Here's the complaint. It's not even that bad compared to the other things, but because they take me seriously as a dude, which is dope, but I'm getting matched with all assigned female at birth people. And you can customize that, but I'm getting matched with like girls that I have nothing in common with. I'm getting matched with the girls that bullied me in high school, basically. I read their profiles and I'm like, there is nothing that we could talk about. We could sit in a room and I would just have nothing to say to you because we have nothing in common. So you got to weed out like who your people are. But yeah, that's my really only real complaint. Now, I had never used Grindr before, and I was like, you know what? I've had this luck with Tinder. Let's sign up, see what it's about. Grindr is extremely customizable to, I don't know if it's a bad degree. I feel like there's a gross culture definitely that uses some of the things bad. Like Grindr, you can customize, you can say what your height and weight is and like what your sexual position of choice is and like if you're a top or a bottom, like all this stuff. And that's great. I would love that. And there's also like a selection for like when you were last tested. And then there's also an option that's like, hey, can you remind me to get tested in 3 months, 6 months? And that's like super cool for like health and stuff. I love that. But there's also a slot for ethnicity. And I just know people are using that for bad purposes. I know it. You can pay extra to like filter through people. And I know I know they exist. I haven't seen them yet, but there are profiles where people are like, no, you know, like they say gross terms for like people of different ethnicities, like no rice for like Asian people and just like gross fucking things. And I know they're using it for that purpose, but I haven't seen them yet. You know, that's gross. And there was also a selection for tribe, like what tribes you are part of. And I was like, is this a bad racist thing? What is happening here? But you click on it and it's like daddy, twink. There's a selection for trans. Like the main thing that you will see on Tinder if you're trans is we are a fetish, unfortunately. For some people that bad gross, bad gross. There's one dude where I cannot tell if it was a fake profile or not, but he was being extremely gross about him being trans. Like, I don't know if it was like a fake profile or not. It's that level of gross. So I get on Grindr, and my first experience, I'm going through my inbox here because, you know, I've gotten a lot of messages and I'm trying to figure out where to start. The first message I get is from another top, and I'm like, I don't know why you're messaging me. Like in my head, I didn't say this, but I was like, I don't know. Okay. And he was just like very nice and just made very nice conversation. And we talked about the weather for a bit and like stuff. And then I was like, cool. So like, I'm also a top, so I don't think we'd be able to like do anything together, but you're very nice. You seem very cool. And he was like, oh yeah, no, I just, I wanted to welcome you to the site. If you were, into anything else, like we would totally like, get together and stuff. But I just wanted to, it shows you when people have joined the app, so he could see that I had joined recently. And he just wanted a message to just say hi. And I was like, that's very weird and wholesome. Okay, sure. Thank you. That was like a very good first interaction. And I was like, oh, it's all going to be downhill from here, huh? I talked with some people. I talked with some cis dudes, and only one of them was gross, which is great. I did not expect that small a number. Some other trans dudes have actually messaged me, and if you're wondering if only cis dudes are weird and gross with trans people on dating sites, I'm here to announce other trans dudes are also gross with you, which I did not expect. It's kind of like when a younger cousin swears for the first time and they're like 8, and you're like, dude, come on. Like, you should know, well, like, what? We're in this together, man. Come on. But I have found the 2 people who are deserving of sex on Grindr. The first was the top, who just was like very nice to me, just like messaging me to say hello, welcome to Grindr, which is very funny. I feel like if Grindr was like an in-person experience, he would give me like a condom and some lube and like a commemorative towel and be like, hey buddy, welcome to the team. Bathrooms are on the left and right, and just be careful who you meet up with. And then the other guy was someone that I was talking to for a bit, and the conversation was going well. And after a while, I was like, by the way, you're not a chaser, right? And he was like, what? And I was like, well, someone who just wants me because I'm trans. And he was like, oh, I didn't I didn't even know that was a thing. And also I didn't know you were trans. And I was like, okay, cool. And he went on to be like, hey, would you mind if I asked an ignorant question? I've never been with a trans person before. How would I be able to interact with you in a way that would make you feel comfortable and it would be fun for you without making you feel bad about your gender at all? And I was like, God, this is great. That's like the best non-weird way you can ask that. Good for you, buddy. You know, I hope he gets super laid. And I went into detail about it because like I explained how my junk works and stuff, because there was one dude that was creepy that was just trying to figure out how I fuck. And I'm like a complete open book. But if you ask me like that, I won't fucking tell you, because then that's fetishy and weird, and that's like a rude way of just like, no. But if you're genuinely like, hey, I don't know information about this, and like this might be like a dysphoric question for you, so if it is, I apologize, and you do not have to answer. But and then ask your question, like easing me into it is a lot better. So I explained in detail, and he was like, thank you so much for the detailed response. I really appreciate that. And it was just like a very good interaction. I got an older gentleman who is looking for younger dudes, and he's very sweet. His profile was very sweet. I don't want to bash this dude at all, because like, hey, you're upfront about what you want. You're on Grindr. Good for you. Like I'm not gonna fucking judge that. But when older people get on dating apps and stuff, sometimes they don't know internet speak. My first picture is of me with my cat, and people have been, you know, being like, oh, your cat's cute. You know, it's like it's a conversation starter, you know. And this gentleman apparently thinks that the word cat and furry are interchangeable, because, oh boy, did he send me some messages that I laughed at. He sent me a picture of a cat and said, hi, hello, from my furry to yours. And then sent another picture with him and a dog and said, and this is me and my friend's furry. And it's so wholesome. Like, I don't know how to respond to this. So good. I really wanted to just message him and be like, hell yeah, I love furries. But I didn't want to like lead this poor man on, you know, because like if I respond, he's gonna think that I want to talk, and I'm not interested in him like that, so I didn't want to. But oh my god, did I laugh. That was enough of a reason to join Grinders, to just get that real good laugh out. Grindr made me realize how privileged dude hookup culture is. I was raised female, so when I meet someone on a dating site, I am fucking on top of my shit. I'm like, we have to meet in a public place, we have to this, and this, you know, like to make sure you're not a murderer or going to kidnap me or something. And this person who's non-binary, assigned male at birth, they just wanted to like hang out at night. And I was like, okay, you know, like, and we established things, but I was on guard, because I just want to make sure that you are who you say you are. It's like, it's nighttime, I'm walking down the street with my pepper spray, I'm like fucking on guard, just like ready for anyone to just like jump out of the fucking bushes, because I am like on point. I am not relaxed in any situation meeting up with someone from the internet. And I'm standing out in front of their place, and like I text them that I'm here, and I'm like, you know what, they haven't responded in a minute, they are a murderer, and they're watching me from a van somewhere. But then they just come out of their house and they're like, oh hey, come on in. And they look exactly like they do in their pictures, and I'm like, well, you mean that's insane, that's so different. Meet each other to hang out from dating sites, and they don't have to worry about getting murdered? What? But yeah, the culture is just so different that it was a shock. So every time I meet up with someone, I'm like on guard, just like my pepper spray and my knife, and I'm just like very like, everyone wants to hurt me. So yeah, another reason that being raised female is fucked. So going by what is best for the trans experience, Tinder takes first place, surprisingly. I did not think it would. But yeah, Tinder is the most comfortable. What takes second place, though? OKCupid is very blatant in their transphobia, which sucks. Because, like, you know, it's not even... I haven't experienced transphobia from the actual users of OKCupid. It's just the setup that they have. The inner workings that, like, make it so that trans dudes are matched with lesbians and vice versa. So that sucks. But the people are better on OKCupid. So I'm going to put OKCupid in second place, and then Grindr is last place. Grindr hasn't been that bad so far. The people have been very like chill and understanding and willing to learn. There's gonna be some gross people, but that's just like life. I'm used to it. And that sucks, but maybe one day it won't be. And something you know what? I did not mention. Grindr, when you say, they have a place for pronouns, which is super cool. You can put your pronouns. They have pre-selected things, or you can enter a custom thing. That's dope. That's like incredibly dope. And I was very surprised. And they also have where you put your gender. They have a little question mark box next to it, as in like, oh, I have a question about this, or like, what is this, you know? And you click on it and they have a whole fucking explanation of what gender is. And like, that's holy shit. Tinder does not have that. OkCupid does not have that. That's like fucking really cool. So Grindr, surprisingly, is very on top of their like wokeness, which I did not fucking expect at all, because the users are worse. So that's what it is, isn't it? OkCupid and Grindr are complete opposites. It's flipped. OkCupid, the people who make OkCupid suck and manage that stuff, but the users are good. And vice versa, Grindr, the people who make it, their choices are extremely woke, and then the people are more sucky. You know, so that's, wow, I just realized that. So there you go. That's more of an explanation that's could be helpful to people. Sometimes it's not as clear-cut what dating site is for me, what app is for me, but depending on your gender and your sexual orientation and all that shit, you can find some place that you hopefully feel the most comfortable. Not that you will feel comfortable on any dating site, because they're awful, but the least bad. Like I said in the beginning, what is the least bad choice? What is the least bad choice for me personally? So yeah, that's me talking a little bit about dating and, well, dating sites, rather. I haven't really talked about dating. Good luck, be safe, use protection. I'm your dad, and I love you.